Welcome to the world of swirl, or the swirly world. I need to get used to this new name, swirly world, but welcome anyway, one way or the other. We have here what I told you about before, husking and loops. Now to make husking, you have to start with a wheat ear. And I will start with that on this little machine right here. It's just a pegboard. It has a nice drawer. Some pegboards don't have this drawer, and I don't like them. I like the drawer because otherwise you have to keep these. Once you open the package, they come in, you have to keep them in a Ziploc. And you know how that goes. Pretty soon it's all ripped or it's lost. But right here, it's all in one little piece. And that's what I like. Now, to make this, I start with, I glue a little loop on the end, and it has to dry, which I should have done beforehand so you wouldn't have to wait through that. So while I'm doing it, I'm going to go ahead and do a loop. Let's see, I think I'll use green because I'm sure it's long enough. I'm going to glue a loop on this one also because this will be looping. Now you can loop by hand, and you can husk on a cork board with pins stuck in it like this, or you can loop the same way, stick pins in the cork board. That's how I started. I hadn't ever done it any other way before that because I didn't know other ways existed. When I saw these beautiful pictures I wanted to make, and I just decided to make them. But now I can see that there's an easier way. And to make a wheat ear, you stick one on the end, and then you go around the next pin. And I bring it tight because I don't want them all sloppy and floppy. And then I go around the next farthest up pin. And then I go to the last pin. And each time, generally, when I do this, I glue on the end because I don't want it to come all apart. And cut it off about there. Put a little glue on it. I don't like to make my ends of the paper right at the end of the project because more often than not a little tiny piece sticks out, and I don't want a little tiny piece sticking out. Now the easiest way to take this off is to remove either one end of the pin, and the rest of it comes loose enough that it's easy just to lift up. And there you have a wheat ear. Let me move this so you can see it better. There. And you can leave it round like that, or you can point all the ends so it's a little tighter and a little more direction to it. Okay, so if I had 3 of these wheat ears and I glued them together like that, then I would just make a collar around it. Take another piece of paper, glue it on. Let's pretend this collar isn't here, and you just glue it on around. Now I'm not going to glue it to this top one because I want it rounded at the top. So I'm just gluing around, and I'm putting glue on all the way around as I go to make sure it stays where I want it. And I want it defined at the bottom, so I'm going to pinch that to make it smaller because I want the shape to be like a big teardrop, but with this beautiful design in the middle. So that's how you do husking. This is called husking. Putting a collar on. When you use a different color, some people call it a band. This one is done so that it's much tighter. I really squeezed that one, and I squeezed the husking as I went. And this one's just kind of somewhere in between. You can see the 3 wheat ears in there, and you can see it's purple in there, and then it's a different color out here. Usually if you're going to do real husking, you use the same color, but since this is considered banding, then that's fine. I just do it my way and give it a different name. Now I want to show you the looping, because looping takes two tools. The first tool uses that little setup I made in the middle. And I'll start with this piece because it's already dried. Now, when you do looping, you have to start in the middle and then you go to the side, 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 side. Otherwise, you can't get it to go where you want it. Okay? Straight up through the middle. And I am going to go ahead and glue this one, because looping is a whole different animal when you don't glue it. Now I'm going on the inside of this peg and then coming around the outside of it. But still, I have to be inside this peg. I'm just doing this peg, not the other one. So, glue that. Go inside the peg. So this is alternate looping. First this side, then that side. I'm alternating sides, so it's called alternate looping. Okay, and if you're a youngster learning this, you can show your teacher you have new vocabulary. Alternation, alteration, alternating, not alterating, that's just changing. Okay, so you can see I've got 5 twigs out there. And if you wanted to use those and make a maple leaf, you could. Or whatever design it is you're putting it into. And remember, easiest way to get it out, take off, I think I'll take off the top one. Nope, I have to take off the bottom one for it to be easiest. Oh, I think I know what I did. Nope. Okay, so see how easy that is to get off of there now? Just pull it up. And then, like this, I can leave it kind of loose as I go around it, or I can squeeze it tighter like this, or partly tight. It depends on what it is you're making, what kind of a style you decide you like, and maybe I won't do anything to it. Maybe I'll just leave it as a loop like this one is. So that is this kind of looping. Now there's another kind of looping that requires a different tool. And again, I did these all with my hands before I knew there were tools to do this with. This is alternate looping. And you can use this, a lot of people use it like for a fancy lady or an angel, or, you know, stick a head on the top. So I will show you how to do that. And I often have one of these on because if I only want to make something so tall, a particular height, then I have that marker. If I wanted to make, you know, if I had to make 10 things and they all had to be the same height, I don't want to have to count every time. So I put a marker on there, and all it is a little teardrop. I made very small teardrop, and I just stick it on my hook, on my hoop. Okay. So for alternate looping, I'm going to do the middle one again first. Well, I'll make it a little shorter because I don't have that long of a piece of paper. Okay, up the middle, and then up the side on this side, and I'm only going to go, I'm not going to go clear to the top because I want the different levels to be obvious. And on the other side, I have to make sure the bottom's even and that I go the same height on that side. You know, I've never tried asymmetric alternate looping. I should try that sometime, see how it looks. Probably like somebody's limping. They need a cane. Okay, alternating sides each time. Then I go to the back, and I'll just tear this time. This is much stronger paper though than I usually use with the 1/8 inch. And slide it off. Now you can do looping this direction, and there you've got a bird's wing. One wing on this side, make another one for the other side. So let's take a look at how that forms. Again, start by gluing a little loop. And often I don't wait for them to dry. Often I just put them on. And if it's not going to dry, see, it's sticking out, it's not dry, I just hold it down with my thumb and start. Now I am going to make this one long because I'm only doing one side. Okay. Again, come through the very same place I started. Now before I had it at the bottom so you could see that, but okay, I'm going on the right side, glue it, and now I'm going on the right side again. See how that's turning out? And I'm not going to go this time because I want to finish. Okay, and that's how it comes out all on one side, as you can see here. So that's looping. These are all the different kinds of loops that I usually use. And you've seen the husking, and that's really a lot of extra things that you can do with your quilling, because you'll see them. You'll see all this stuff. Once I made this beautiful picture of a lion and a lamb, dove flying, and mountains in the background, and maybe I'll put that picture on sometimes so you can see it. But have a wonderful day. I hope you're making things. Please please notify me in the comments of the things you're making and how much fun you're having. And join me again at the Swirly World.